Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? This is me and Romeo. We just got back from a good walk, and I'm sure he's a little tired. But anyway, he's not exactly photogenic. He tickles the crap out of me. We've been walking for about 45 minutes, and he's probably a little tired right now. But I was surprised. He kept right up with me. We walked for about 45 minutes, and I'm going to put him down. Say good morning, everybody. He tickles the shit out of me. Oh, golly. Go get you some water, boy. Anyway, the good news is this is day 2. He hasn't made a single mistake in the last 24 hours. He hasn't pooped or peed in the house. I can't say we've got a routine yet because we really don't. Well, we're getting one. And what I do is he sleeps all night right beside my bed. And what he does, in the mornings when I get up and start my ablution, so to speak, well, he sits there and looks out around, and I guess he's waking up. And then after I kind of get the day started, then I pick him up and we go outside and take a short walk, and he does his business, or he did this morning, and which is good. And I was going to go, and then later I was going to go. One of the things I do every morning, as most of you know, I go walking for about an hour. And my concern is that, taking Romeo, he's such a small dog, it'd be difficult for him to keep up, blah, blah, blah. I didn't, putting him on a leash. He's kind of resistant to the leash right now. He's getting better. I don't like to put it on him, so I guess he picks that up. And anyway, so this morning we took our short walk. He did his business, came back in the house. He had a little snack, and I got my walking clothes on, and then then I went out walking for a few minutes because I've had him on the patio. What I did, I took the leash and wrapped it around a chair leg and gave him about 10 feet of slack and left him there and went and did one long lap. It's about a half-mile round lap. And then it occurred to me that, hell, he could fall off the porch, a jillion things could happen. So I came back, but nothing had happened. He was just sitting there. And I thought, well, hell, let's see what happens. So anyway, I took him off the leash, and we walked back out to my county road here. There's no traffic, so it's not like that's a concern. And so anyway, he kept up. I'm telling you, I was really surprised, and I didn't have to call him. He just stayed right behind me. He'd lag behind a little bit, and then he'd run and catch up. And he'd lag behind, and he'd run and catch up. But I feel like that exercise is good for him. I don't think it's going to hurt him. He didn't act like he was tired at all. And now that we're back, of course, he's crashed. He's crashed and burned. But I'm going to try something. That solves a big problem, believe me, for me, because that means that I probably don't need a fence immediately. Like soon I was going to get some chicken wire and rig up a thing. And I don't need to do that, I don't think, because that allows me to get up in the mornings and do my walking. And as long as he's not having any accidents in the house, that's a big plus. He didn't make a sound last night. He barked a couple of times, not during the night, but when we were out walking this morning, he must have seen. So he did bark twice. That's the first 2 sounds he's made in 2 days. And as far as whining, none. Sleeps all night, wonderful. And he just lays right there. I don't even know he's there. I mean, he just sleeps and doesn't make any noise. And I get up in the morning, put him out so far. I mean, it's only been 2 days, but I think that we're getting a kind of a routine started, and he likes it, and I like it. As far as the food and the water, no problem. He doesn't eat much. What are his other demands? None, other than some exercise. He does. Whenever we get up in the mornings, I've noticed that 2 mornings, I mean, he's pretty active for a little while, for about maybe an hour or less. He's pretty active. Not when I say active, I mean he's not yipping and yapping or anything. He just you can tell he's excited to do something. That's why it'll fit perfectly with me going walking, because he can get that excitement out of his system, and then he can come back and crash for another 15 hours, I guess, or whatever he does. But again, puppies sleep 18 to 20 hours a day, and I didn't know that. I'm glad I read that and found that out. And my son told me that too. He said, yeah, he said even his grown dogs sleep 12 to 16 hours a day or more. They just all the time. So anyway, having said all that, we're still, a scale 8 to 9. We've moved up a little bit. I mean, everything's a little bit more predictable. And, I've got paper on the floor that turns out to be totally useless and good, but I'm going to leave it there for a few days because you just never know when he may have an accident. And the thing that I've got to work on now is I've got a wine tasting event on September the 10th, 17th, and the 24th of September. And those take a total of, from door to door, there and back, 4 hours, 3 hours there, 30 minutes each way, approximately. So I'm not sure. I think what I'll do there until I can get a decent fence built, and I've got some ideas on that, which is not too expensive. And what I'll do is just fence all the way around the RV and make a gate so that if I need to pull this out, I can, and that's all I need. And then the rest of the yard will be fenced, and it shouldn't cost a hell of a lot. And when I say a hell of a lot, it ought to be less than, it should be around $1,500 for the whole thing, I think, and I can probably deal with that all right. So, having said all that, the good news is Romeo is doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine, except for this twitch. I just can't get over this twitch. No, I'm just kidding. I really thought it was going to be a hell of a lot worse than it is. This dog, I mean, I don't know if it's the breed or the breed and this particular dog's personality combined that make him pretty much right now, I'd have to say, a perfect pet for me. Because we go walking, I mean, if this is the way it's going to be, this is just day 2, I realize. But, we've gone walking, we're back in the RV now, and he's got a little pad, and he's gone over there and he's crashed. He's out. And he'd probably be like that for a few hours. In fact, I could go run an errand, and I might do that while he's crashed and burned. And what I might do on the day of the wine tasting is walk later in the morning, a little later, and so that when he crashes and burns or goes to sleep, that I can leave and come back, and maybe he won't have had an accident or whatever. But anyway, we're working on working these things out. And for those of you that are thinking about getting a pet, for you elderly folks like me, I'm age 71, I full-time RV. This is an RV. I full-time RV for 23 years. And, this video makes me look like I got a big belly, but I don't. I mean, I weigh 168 pounds and I'm 6'2", so figure that out. But anyway, for you people that are up around my age or in that range, and you want to get a pet, I would highly recommend taking a look at the miniature poodle. You may be able to find one at an adoption service. If not, you can get one from a breeder, and it doesn't matter which one you get, apparently. I mean, this was just a random sample of that litter, and the only reason I got it for a reasonable price was because the dog has a whole tail. It wasn't bobbed or cut off when he was young, a baby. And the reason was she thought that based on his colors that he was going to be a certain breed that they keep the tail on to show that particular color and dog. So, and then after he got to be 3 months old, well, of course, the market declines pretty quick because, people want a puppy, so anyway, Having said all that, my plans today for me and Romeo are not much. Enjoy the day. I've got to go buy groceries, and I'm debating on whether to take him with me and roll the windows down, because I really would like to get him to the point that he doesn't get car sick. Now, the funny thing about it was he rode with me about 150 miles in the back of my Prius with the seats folded down, and he didn't throw up one time, not one time. Now that could be because he had thrown up earlier in her car, because she told me that he did, and uh, and maybe there wasn't anything left. But yesterday I had him in the front seat on a pillow, and he got car sick when we started out. So I'm thinking that maybe it could be that if I put him in the back with the seats down like he was before, maybe he can do that without getting car sick. Maybe it's the space or something that makes that happen. But and we'll probably try that today. I may try it this morning when I go to the grocery store. We'll see. But right now, the fence is off or on hold until I can find a decent fence. I was just going to rig up something, but now we can put that aside and go with a real fence in at my leisure, because I think everything's going to work out. You get up in the morning, and for those of you that have just gotten a pet, and I know you probably haven't watched this far in the video anyway, so but if you have, for those of you that are just getting a pet, I'm age 71. This is the first pet I've had in over 40 years, as far as I can remember, and or maybe longer. I can't remember that far back. It's like way back, and I'm pretty set in my ways. I'm single, and been single for a long time, like 27, 28 years, whatever it happens to be. And, I thought it was going to be a major disruption, and it is, it is a change, I'll grant you that. But as far as the uh, house breaking, zero, nothing. I mean, I haven't had any issues with that at all. As far as whining and keeping me awake at night, none. Uh, as far as getting under my feet as I move about my RV in my limited space, none. His spots are off the beaten path. I mean, he's up under the dining room table is kind of the spot where he does his chew stick, and that's where his food and water is. And then he's got a sleeping spot, one of them, back in the restroom area. I've got a towel that I use like a bath mat. It's rolled up kind of thick, and he likes that spot for napping during the day. And then he's got another napping spot up under the dining room table. And then at night, he sleeps right beside me in the bed. And, you do that day after day after day after day. So I think that we're on a good track. And knock on wood, I hope it's gonna work out. I don't see any issues at all right now. I just have to get all the the shot stuff down, and when to do this and when to do that, and don't let the damn veterinarians just ruin me financially. So anyway, got a lot of good comments. A lot of people liked Romeo, and he is a good dog. He does have good colors. I mean, as far as people thinking that I'm effeminate because I've got a poodle, well, when I stick my 38 in their nose and pull the trigger, they'll forget all about that crap, won't they? So immediately. And but be that as it may, I don't have any issues with being a man. You follow me? I know I'm a man. I can wear a pink shirt, pink underwear, and pink shoes, and carry a poodle under my arm, and I'm still a man. What I wear ain't shit. But be that as it may, uh, I don't. And my Gildan shirt from Walmart. But again, for those of you thinking about getting a pet, all I can tell you is I wrestled with it for years, off and on and off and on and off and on, and now I've finally bitten the bullet. And I'm not saying this just because I've bitten the bullet and I'm just blowing smoke up your skirt. The fact is, he is a companion, and I feel different. I mean, I do have somebody to care for now, and he's always glad to see me. I promise you. If I'm gone, if I go out to check the mail and come back, it's like I've been gone for 3 years. Okay, And I went and I did one lap this morning, which takes about uh, 10 minutes on my, because I go down a county road about a little over a quarter mile and back. A lap is about a little over half a mile, but there's no cars, and that's why. And I can do that. That's no big change for me. You know, changing my route as far as walking is not a problem. And on those days when it's rainy and so forth, and I have to go to Lowe's, well, I'll just have to do that, and Romeo will just have to understand. So I think what you got to do when you get a pet, I'm finding out, is you just do your own thing and the pet adapts. Well, you adapt a little and the pet adapts a lot, apparently. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye bye.